Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be going over what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. And we're going to go ahead and get started with the weekly challenge. But before we do that, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you guys are new. Helps me out a lot. Let's go ahead and get started with that weekly challenge, which is to win 3 races this week. And if you do that, you're going to receive a bonus $100,000. Now, we also have a free $1 million up for grabs, not just this week, but for the next 3 weeks until April 1st. So if you can't log in this week, no pressure. You can still log in next week and get your free $1 million. But there are some additional bonuses going on this week. Some free stuff that is going to total to about $3 million, I would say, roughly. It is available, and that is exclusive to this week. So we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But before we get into that, we got to go over the money bonuses going on this week in GTA Online. Starting us off with our highest money bonus, we have 4 times money and RP on RON contact missions. Now, this is actually probably going to be a semi-decent way to make money this week. To be honest, these missions are probably going to pay anywhere from, I would say, $60,000 to probably $80,000 per mission. So not the worst way to make money this week. And if you play them with 4 people, it's going to go faster and you're going to make more money. So I would highly recommend this, to be honest. Now, particularly if you are a lower level player, but even higher level players, you might want to give it a shot for old time's sake. On 4x money, it's not bad. Now, we also have triple money and triple RP on the community series, and that's going to be a running bonus for the next 3 weeks. But there's an additional bonus on top of the 3x money and the 3 times RP. If you complete 5 of these this week, you're going to receive a bonus $500,000. If you complete 5 of these next week, you're going to receive another bonus $500,000, and the week after that as well, another bonus $500,000. So for doing 15 of these, you can get an extra 1.5 mil on top of getting triple money for each of the races or whatever the community series stuff that you're going to do is going to pay. So this is actually a really good way to make money, and definitely something I would take advantage of. It's almost like an additional weekly challenge. So this is definitely something to pay attention to and keep on top of. Now, additionally, we have double money and double RP on vehicle cargo sale missions. So vehicle cargo is on bonus money this week. Not the greatest sale bonus of all time, but not the worst either. You're gonna get about, I guess, like $200,000 per car that you sell. It's not bad. Like it's okay. So take advantage of that if you have the high-end vehicles to sell. A money method this week that I'm going to tell you guys about in this video. We're going to talk about this more tomorrow, but only sell the high-range cars. Keep the low end and keep the medium end, because those ones, once they're full, you're not going to source any more of them. That way you can just sell the high-end cars and just resource the high-end cars over and over again. Little tip, we'll talk about it more tomorrow in the money guide video. If you've never gotten into vehicle cargo, luckily, we have a free vehicle cargo warehouse this week, and it is the LSIA vehicle warehouse. It is completely free. It is a $2.2 million warehouse otherwise for free this week. So if you're not into vehicle cargo yet, if you don't have a warehouse yet, I would highly recommend getting this. If you do have a warehouse and you want to get some money, you can trade in your old warehouse so long as it's empty, and you'll get some money back. So that's a potential money bonus on top this week. If you empty out your vehicle cargo warehouse, if you're prepared to source them all again, you can trade your old one in for the free one, and you will probably get, I'd say, 50% of whatever the value was of your old one back. So could be a good way to make some more money this week. Now, in order to get a vehicle cargo warehouse, you're going to need a CEO office. Luckily, those are 30% off this week as well. And you're going to find those on your phone through the Money and Services tab here and in the Dynasty 8 Executive Realty website. Now, these are going to be 30% off. Maze Bank West, my bad. These are actually 50% off. So if you want to get a CEO office this week, 50% off. Not bad. That means Maze Bank is going for $2 million. Arcadius is probably about 1.5. Maze Bank West, 500K. And of course, Lawn Bank West is also like 1.5. Not bad, guys. Would definitely recommend getting a CEO office this week if you don't have one yet somehow. And I do believe that modifications are also 30% off, if I am not mistaken. No, they're not. So it's just the office itself. So keep that in mind. If you're going to be customizing an office this week, skip the gun locker in here because it's really expensive. The safe does absolutely nothing. Only get the accommodation if you plan to ever spawn in at your CEO office. Otherwise, you don't need it. and everything else is personal preference. So quick speed run on the CEO office customization there. Now additionally, we also have 30% off of the Eclipse Boulevard garage. It's a 50 car garage. Now I can't show it to you on this website because I already own it, but it's 30% off this week. It usually goes for about $2.5 million, so it's probably about 1.8 million this week, which is not bad. So if you need garage space, buy the Eclipse Boulevard garage for sure this week. It's also got a little bit of customization as well, which is pretty cool, so take advantage of that bonus. Now, the other free thing we have this week is the ramp buggy. If you don't have a ramp buggy, definitely get one this week, completely free. You will need a vehicle cargo warehouse in order to purchase this thing and own it. Luckily, we have the free one, of course. This thing is normally $3.2 million. That's without the trade price. With the trade price, I think it's 2.4. Ridiculously expensive vehicle. It's also very weak, but it's very fun for a period of time until it destroys itself. If you can get it for free this week, which you can, definitely do that. Get a vehicle cargo warehouse, get the free one if it means getting this thing, and then buy this for free. You gotta have it. You might as well. It's like a $5 million value that Rockstar's giving us this week for free, which it doesn't happen very often, so take advantage of it. Now, staying on Warstock for just another second, we have the HVY Dump for $700,000. This is a Pegasus vehicle, no customization, cannot be stored in a garage, can only be requested from Pegasus, and it spawns in very limited locations, just so you're aware. It's not like most Pegasus vehicles where it'll like spawn at the casino, or it can spawn at that one spot at the bottom of Pillbox Hill. This will spawn in like very select locations, and that's because it is absolutely massive. Pretty useless, so I really don't recommend getting one, to be honest. Moving over to Legendary Motorsport, we have a 4-door vehicle this week available for 30% off. It's the Lampadaddy Komoda. It has a missile lock-on jammer available for it now, which is pretty cool. One of the best sounding cars in the game. It's based off of the Alfa Romeo Giulia in real life, which is a pretty cool car. It's a 4-seater, like I said, sounds absolutely incredible. Rear-wheel drive, has good handling, great acceleration, decent top speed. Overall, it's a very good car if you want to get it this week for like about $900K to $1.2 million. If you like cars that sound really good, I would recommend this. And if you like cars that handle well and just generally perform decently, I think this is a good pickup. Now, it's not going to be for everybody. If you don't like the styling of it, you're probably not going to like it even with customization. If you can get it for the trade price, I think it's a lot more of a deal for sure. But if you really want one for 1.2 mil, not that bad. Don't recommend it for everybody, but if it seems like something you'd be interested in, definitely buy it this week. Moving over to the special category on Legendary Motorsport, we have the Ocelot R88, 30% off. Now, just gonna say this right now, open wheel cars are pretty much only bought for performance reasons, and out of them all, the Benefactor BR8 is by far the best. The Ocelot R88 is unfortunately the worst of them all, by far. Like, it's very, very obviously the worst. It has the lowest top speed, worst acceleration, worst handling. It's just the worst open wheel car in the game. So, with that said, really do not recommend buying the Ocelot R88 this week. It is not a good deal. Even 30% off, 2.1, almost $2.2 million is pretty crazy. And it's just not going to hold up compared to the rest of the open wheel cars. So if you're buying it for racing, don't, because it's just going to lose. So yeah, avoid the R88 this week. Over on Southern San Andreas Super Autos, under the 2-door section, we have the Bravado Hot Ring Hellfire. This is the best hot ring car in the game. If you want to win hot ring races, you probably are going to want the Hot Ring Hellfire. It has an air brake on the roof, which is really, really cool. It'll allow you to get extra grip in the corners, even if you just press it for like, you know, tiny, tiny bits. It'll still get you the traction bonus and the braking bonus, which is really, really cool. Decent car. If you want to win hot ring races, you're going to want this one for $1.3 million. If that's something you're really into, I guess it's not a bad deal. It is pretty expensive though, and it has basically no customization, so definitely don't recommend it for everybody. Only buy this if you plan to do those hot ring races at some point in the future, but even then you're probably not going to make a profit on doing them ever with this vehicle. So I'm just saying, for most players, probably going to want to avoid it. Moving a little further down, we have the Dinka Kancho SJ. This is a car that came out with the Criminal Enterprises DLC. It was cut from the Tuners DLC, and you can tell because it has stance mode available for it, which only Tuners cars had stance mode, which is pretty interesting. So a lot of customization for it as well, like a lot of Tuners DLC vehicles. However, it is front wheel drive, and the driving experience is nothing short of miserable, I would say, generally. Only buy this car if you have some sort of affinity towards old Hondas or Acuras that, you know, look like this. Other than that, you will be disappointed with this vehicle. For $720,000, it is absolutely not worth buying. in my opinion. The Albany Hermes is discounted this week. Now, mine says free because I still haven't claimed it, even though I've had it for free for like months and months and months. However, it is 30% off for you guys this week. So it's probably going to go for about $350,000 for you guys. It's a pretty interesting car. When you start driving, the suspension rises up, but when you stop, it like comes down. It's like it's on pegs, which is pretty cool. Customization wise, you can make it look like the Hudson Hornet, which I think is neat, and there's a decent amount of stuff that can be done. Overall, for a discount this week, I would say it's probably worth getting unless you have one already, but not everybody's going to find it that cool. So if you're not really into old cars like this, you can pretty safely avoid it. We have the Karen Sultan Classic discounted this week as well by 30% off, going from $900,000 to $1.2 million. Unfortunately, this thing's not that great performance wise for either of these price tags, so I don't really recommend it under the performance front of things. However, it is a cool car to customize. It's got a decent amount of customization that can be done to it. It has all right handling, it's all-wheel drive. It's a pretty cool looking car. If you're into this sort of style of vehicle, like JDM cars, you know, from the 90s, you might want to consider buying it, but for most players, I think this is just too much money to kind of justify purchasing this vehicle. So it's one that I don't really recommend, but I could maybe recommend it if you're really into this style of vehicle, because it is good at what it tries to be. So if it seems interesting to you, you may want to consider purchasing it, but for most players, probably going to want to avoid it. We also have the Karen Everon discounted this week, somehow under the luxury tab and not the off-road tab. It's a gigantic Arctic Explorer truck. Interesting choice of where they placed it. It's going for just under $800,000 or just over $1 million this week. Now, if you're into off-roading, this is a pretty cool vehicle to have. It's pretty good at rock crawling. However, one thing to note, it is very top heavy and it will probably roll over on you somehow. It happens more often than I would like to admit, which kind of sucks. So I would really only buy it if you like steep rock crawling or climbing over giant boulders and stuff like that. Other than that, it's a cool truck to customize. It's not that fast. It's not that awesome performance-wise. But yeah, basically, if you're into off-roading, you might want to buy this thing while it's discounted. But for literally everybody else, I'd say probably avoid it. Within the casino, we have the Albany Brigham available to be won this week for free. If you can try to win it, definitely go for it. Not the greatest car ever though, so if you don't get it this week, not missing out on a whole lot. The prize ride this week within the LS car meet is the Grotti Vision, and in order to win it, you're going to have to place top 5 for 4 days in a row. Not a terribly hard challenge for a supercar like this. It has a tintable front windshield, which is a rare feature in GTA, so that is pretty cool. I would recommend coming here and trying to win it for sure. We also have some vehicles available in the car meet as well. We have the Volcar Warner going for $120,000. In my opinion, it's a no-brainer. You should buy that this week for sure. Dinkaveris is a complete scam, and I do not recommend it. $192,000, really not very good. And we also have the Western Cliffhanger as well for $225,000. It's pretty cool looking. Honestly, out of them all, I would buy the Warner and maybe the Cliffhanger as well if you're interested in bikes. And of course, we have the Principe Devastate as the HSW test ride this week, probably going for about $3 million. Not bad. Don't recommend it. Just do the HSW upgrade yourself and everything, and yeah, do it your own way. I think it's better. Within Simeon's, we have quite a few removed vehicles in here this week. We have the Nagasaki Hot Rod Blazer, which is pretty cool, going for $69,000. The Weenie Dynasty, which is really overpriced, and I don't recommend it, going for almost $500,000. It's crazy. We also have the Grotti Stinger, going for, again, way too much money, $850,000. Crazy amount. I do not recommend that. However, these two I do recommend. You can get these both for less than the price of the Weenie Dynasty, which is insane. This is the Dinka Jester. It's really cool, going for $240,000, and the Benefactor Serrano going for $110,000 this week as well. Definitely get these two. Those are absolutely worth it. Everything else in here you can pretty safely avoid. Within the Garment Factory, the Project Breakaway file is going to be the priority file this week. Within the salvage yard, the robberies are not going to actually get you anything that you can keep, but we have the Duggan robbery for the Enos Paragon R, the cargo ship robbery for the Vapid Dominator GTT, and the podium robbery for the BF Weevil. Within luxury autos, we have the Grotti GT750 and the Invitero Coquette D5. Nothing special. The gun van location today, the day this video is coming out, is going to be right here on the map in this parking garage, and within the gun van, we have 40% off of the tactical SMG. We also have the railgun available this week, service carbine, and the marksman rifle, as well as the SMG and the knife. For throwables, we have grenades, pipe bombs, and sticky bombs, and of course armor is 10% off as well. Your RC Bandito time trial today is Construction Site 1, your Junk Energy time trial is Sewer System, your regular time trial is Casino this week, and your HSW time trial is North Chumash to Palomino Highlands. So it's going to be up here above the military base, and it is going to end all the way across the map right at the bottom of this road right here. So there you guys have it. That's been it for what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. Of course, I will have the weekly money guide video coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Consider dropping a like and subscribing if you guys are new. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care. Peace.